With my family's international business expansion keeping me abroad, I'd been largely absent from North America. Concerned about my single status, Mom insisted I return home to accept an arranged engagement with the son of a local tycoon. But the moment I arrived at my engagement party, I discovered my photo had been replaced with a dog's picture. Before I could process what was happening, my fiancé's secretary sauntered over arrogantly and thrust a bag of dog waste into my hand. "What are you staring at? The birthday party starts soon. Go dispose of this." Clenching my jaw to contain my rage, I demanded, "This is my engagement party. And you expect me to do this?" She brushed off my question with a dismissive wave. "Just do it. Quit wasting time with questions. Mr. Carter personally authorized me to run today's event." I paused in shock, then pulled out my phone and dialed my fiancé directly. "Kyle, you and the Carters think turning my engagement party into a dog's birthday bash doesn't require an explanation." 1. This engagement held significant weight for both families' reputations and future business ventures. My family had approached it with great seriousness. If they'd shown even a hint of remorse, I might have considered damage control for the sake of our family's standing. "An explanation? What exactly do you expect me to explain?" My fiancé's voice dripped with disdain over the line. "Mr. Carter, despite our lack of prior acquaintance, I am still intended to be your future daughter-in-law. Don't you find it absurd to have a stranger bring a dog to replace me?" I hadn't even finished speaking when the line went dead with a dial tone. I stood frozen in disbelief. Do all trust fund kids have this level of arrogance? Watching this unfold, the secretary let out an audible snort. "Miss Vincent, I'd advise you to just follow instructions. Given the Carter family's standing in Seattle, your marriage to them is practically a fairy tale come true." Judging by my youth and casual attire, she clearly didn't take me seriously. "I'm the guest of honor here. There's no way I'm doing this." Mid-sentence, I raised my hand and pointed to the nearby staff. "If you keep this up, I'll have security remove all of you." My threat to call for help didn't intimidate her. In fact, it only emboldened her further. "Miss Vincent, I suggest you don't waste your energy. This is Carter property. Do you honestly think anyone in Seattle would side with you?" She grew increasingly worked up. Spit nearly sprayed onto my face. I balled my hands into fists, my expression turning icy. "Some petty business family thinks they own the city? How laughable." The words had barely left my mouth when the secretary suddenly pushed me. "Who the hell do you think you are, you little bitch, insulting the Carter family? I'm warning you one last time, cooperate, or you won't make it out of here in one piece." Since coming of age, I'd lived at our family's estate in South America, rarely visiting North America. No one had ever dared to threaten me directly. Her brazen attitude ignited a fire in me. "Is that a fact?" "I highly doubt it." My defiance made the staff present gasp. "Whoa, this girl's got guts. Back-talking Secretary Lisa like that? She must have a death wish. It's just a dog's birthday party, no big deal. If the engagement falls through over this, she's the one who'll regret it." "Exactly. Bagging a Carter is already a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Why quibble over details?" As the whispers grew louder, the secretary's smirk widened. "Hear that? Ain't nobody like you, no connections, no influence, still deluding yourself about being a Carter? Keep dreaming." Their mockery didn't faze me. In fact, it was almost entertaining. "Secretary Lisa, was it? I'll give you one last chance. Restore my venue and ceremony to their original state." "Restore what, you absolute moron?" After hurling insults, she still wasn't satisfied. Rolling up her sleeves, she lunged at me again. "Oh really? The Carter family's attack dog, ready to pounce at the first command." The secretary took several swings at me, but couldn't even touch my clothes. Her face turned red with rage and frustration. "You little bitch, dodge me again, I dare you. I'm calling Mr. Carter right now, mark my words." Despite her repeated provocation, I held back from retaliating. Not because I feared her, but because Mom had warned me repeatedly. "At this engagement party, keep your temper in check. No fighting. And for heaven's sake, don't kill anyone. Besides, I don't make moves without purpose. I either don't act at all, or I go all in, no half measures." Seeing my silence, Lisa assumed I was intimidated. She raised her fist and charged at me again. Just in time, a furious shout boomed from the entrance. "Stop!" 2. A muscular man, flanked by bodyguards, strode in briskly. "Lisa, you're my personal secretary. How could you brawl with someone in public like this? You must be Kyle, my fiancé." I studied the man before me. I had to admit, Mom had decent taste. Close to 6'3", in a tailored designer suit, he was handsome and refined. If I had to criticize something, it was the icy indifference in his eyes when he looked at me. "Mr. Carter. Pleased to meet you. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Aria Vincent, from..." "Spare me." Before I could finish, Kyle raised his hand impatiently, cutting me off. "I couldn't care less who you are. I almost thought I was hearing things. I was supposed to be his future wife, for God's sake. The engagement party hadn't even started, and my own fiancé was publicly humiliating me. Who would put up with that? Mr. Carter, even if we've never met and this is an arranged engagement, it's still rude to cut me off mid-sentence, don't you think? My words made Kyle's expression darken immediately. Rude? Look at yourself. Do you honestly think you are good enough for me? Kyle gave me a disdainful once-over and scoffed. Let me make this crystal clear, if my father weren't forcing this marriage, I wouldn't waste a second on some foreign drifter with a questionable past. He suddenly raised his voice, addressing everyone in the room. And don't delude yourself that this engagement makes you Carter family. I'll never marry you, not in a million years. After Kyle's outburst, I just shrugged indifferently. Since you've made your feelings clear, I have no interest in forcing this. However, my tone suddenly sharpened, dropping several degrees in temperature. I don't see any reason to continue with this engagement today, do you? I'd intended to end this civilly, but this arrogant heir wouldn't listen. He thought I was just playing hard to get. Vincent, cut the games. Do you have any idea how many women in Seattle would kill for this chance? Instead of getting angry, I laughed. Mr. Carter, I couldn't care less about other women's fantasies. I want nothing to do with you. And this Carter family you're so proud of, please. My words sparked immediate murmurs throughout the ballroom. Unbelievable. She's actually insulting the Carter heir? She must be out of her mind. Right. Kyle Carter is Seattle's most eligible bachelor. This girl has no idea what she's turning down. If I were her, I wouldn't care if it was a dog's birthday party. Marrying into the Carters is all that matters. The skeptical murmurs continued around me, but I tuned them out. In Seattle, the Carters were certainly considered new money royalty, with business interests up and down the West Coast. But what did all that wealth matter? When faced with real power, it was just a number on a screen. I still remembered watching Kyle's father, Robert Carter, CEO of Carter Group, groveling before my godfather. Within 30 minutes, Robert was sweating bullets, terrified of misstepping. He had no idea his precious alliance was being destroyed by his own son. Vincent. I'll ask you one last time, do you really want to end this engagement? I met Kyle's gaze steadily and nodded firmly. Without a doubt. 3. Kyle clearly hadn't expected such resolve, his face twisted in frustration. Seeing this, Secretary Lisa quickly intervened. Mr. Carter, don't worry. I'll handle this with your father. A delusional nobody like her, you're better off without the hassle. Kyle nodded slightly, a flicker of doubt in his eyes. But the invitations went out. Calling this off now could damage the family name. Before he could finish, Lisa pounded her chest confidently. Mr. Carter, I'm right here, aren't I? Kyle's eyes lit up instantly. Lisa, you mean? The secretary nodded eagerly, practically glowing with excitement. The party goes on as planned. I'll be the guest of honor. Kyle looked ready to hug her. Lisa, thank you so much for bailing me out. Don't worry, after this, the Carters won't forget your loyalty. Watching this display, I let out a cold laugh. All right, that's enough. Mr. Carter, now that the party's all set up, shouldn't we discuss compensation? I gestured toward the chaotic ballroom and that ridiculous pet birthday banner. This engagement was an important agreement between the Vincent and Carter families. You've turned it into a farce. How do you expect my family to save face? You owe me an explanation today. My words triggered immediate laughter from the crowd. Is she serious? Trying to extort the Carters because her engagement fell through. Right. The Carters are loaded. They'd pay her off without a second thought. I scanned the room, my voice turning icy. Ladies and gentlemen, my family's honor isn't for sale. Kyle still didn't grasp the severity of the situation. So you're embarrassed? Big deal. He said, sauntering toward me. All this posturing, you just want more money, don't you? How much do you want? 10 grand? A million? Name your price. I clenched my jaw to contain my anger, fixing him with a stare. Mr. Carter, do you honestly believe money solves everything? Kyle quirked an eyebrow, looking at me like I was beneath him. Doesn't it? Listen here, Vincent, this is Carter territory. One call from me, and you'll be run out of Seattle. I fought the urge to punch him, speaking slowly and clearly. Mr. Carter, that sounds like a threat. Before Kyle could answer, Lisa jumped in, eager to defend him. You bet it is. What are you gonna do about it? Go ahead, make a move. I turned to her, my voice cold and flat. You actually take pride in being his yes man. Lisa's face turned crimson. She pointed at me, sputtering but unable to form words. Kyle stepped in front of her protectively. Who the hell do you think you are calling a yes man? Lisa's been with me since college. She's practically family. Apologize to her right now, or you're not leaving this room. 4. 2 threats in 1 hour. Unbelievable. No one had dared cross me since I took over the family business. I said nothing more, pulling out my phone in front of everyone. Godfather, it's me. A calm but concerned voice answered. Arya? It's late. Is the engagement going well? I gave Kyle a pointed look, then laughed coldly. There's a problem. The Carters turned the venue into a dog's birthday party and expect me to play along. The voice on the line turned icy instantly. What did you say? The Carters dare insult the Vincent family like this. My anger hit its boiling point. I wouldn't joke about this. They also threatened to run me out of Seattle. I summarized the situation. The line went silent, then came the sound of shattering glass. Who did this? Before I could answer, Lisa snatched the phone from my hand. You must be this bitch's guardian. I'm Lisa, personal secretary to Mr. Kyle Carter of the Seattle Carters. Whatever complaint you have, tell me. My godfather, who'd never been spoken to like that in his life, paused in shock. You're the one who turned my family's engagement into a dog party. Lisa, completely oblivious to who she was provoking, kept up her arrogant act. So what? Cut the crap and tell me what you want. I could practically feel the godfather's rage through the phone. You'll find out soon enough. Caught off guard by his tone, Lisa shot back immediately. Old man, you've been watching too many gangster movies. I'd like to see who in Seattle has the balls to mess with the Carters. She hung up and looked at Kyle with a self-satisfied grin, clearly expecting praise. I couldn't help laughing out loud at the spectacle. Mr. Carter, you've got quite a secretary. Not many people in America have that kind of nerve. Lisa ignored my warning entirely. Your so-called godfather doesn't scare me. As long as Mr. Carter's here, the Carters aren't going anywhere. I smiled faintly. You think the Carters will still exist in Seattle by tomorrow morning? No sooner had I spoken than someone in the crowd yelled out. Look outside. Everyone turned toward the windows. Over a dozen Lamborghini Veninos pulled up silently outside the hotel. Men in black suits poured out in perfect unison.